Alright guys, and welcome back to the Saints View League channel, Southampton content for our match preview and predicted lineup video ahead of Southampton's return to St Mary's after a long series of games away from home as they host South Coast neighbours Brighton in a massive game on Sunday. Before we get into the video though, do make sure you've hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet already. Follow us on our socials, and as always, this video is kindly sponsored by the guys over at Pitch Sport. Make sure you've downloaded that app if you haven't yet already. The link is in the description. Right, let's get into it. Obviously, first off, let's reflect on the last game. 5-2 defeat at Man City. There's not too much you can read into it. It was a relatively decent performance, and I don't think the scoreline necessarily justifies the way we played or reflects the way we played at the Etihad. It kind of suggests that we got absolutely battered. But I wouldn't say we got battered. I think the first half, you could argue all three of Man City's goals came against the run of play. I think one or two of them from individual errors. That was a frustration. But we, for a game where we were never going to get anything, we made 6 changes. I thought we battled quite well, particularly in the first half. We played some very good stuff against the league's best team, who are going to go on and win the league. We dominated them. We definitely dominated them in those opening periods. Unlucky to go behind, but we reacted really well to win the penalty and score it. And yeah, I think the second and third goals also came against the run of play, but I think it was that second half where it looked like we might capitulate. Obviously conceded 2 goals in the second half, but I think it could have been worse. Obviously got one back with Adams. So for me, I'm not too fussed. This is the game that we said after Sheffield United, that's the most important. If we can win this one, then I'd be saying relatively safe. I wouldn't be worried at all about relegation. And also gives us a platform to build from when we come back from the international break, because we've got very winnable fixtures to come now. Obviously, we've got Brighton on Sunday, the FA Cup game. But in terms of the Premier League, we come back from the international break. We host Burnley, we go to West Brom, we host Crystal Palace in there as well. We've got a handful of winnable games coming up that could completely turn around the way our season has been going over the last handful of weeks. We've been dropping down towards a very mediocre mid-table finish, if not, just outside the relegation zone. But now, if we can pick up a couple of wins, we can propel ourselves back towards the top half. Whether we finish there or not is obviously something we'll find out in the next couple of months. But this run of games is gonna determine where we finish. Are we gonna be near the relegation zone come the end of the season, or are we going to be knocking on the door of the top half finish, and the season's going to be looking promising again. And of course, we're going to take the FA Cup game seriously as well. We want to get to Wembley. I said it in the Man City review. We could be in a really good position after the international break. If we beat Brighton and we beat Bournemouth, we virtually would be safe from relegation, I think. And we've got semi-finals to look forward to. Though these 2 games coming up literally will define the way our season goes. If we don't beat Brighton, like I said, we'll be looking behind our shoulders for the rest of the season, in my opinion. And obviously, if we don't beat Bournemouth, then we don't have a cup run to look forward to. So yeah, this is it really. I think this is where we're kind of getting to the business end of the season, where the next couple of results are going to give us an indication as to how the end of the season is going to go for Saints. But of course, winnable on paper doesn't mean that it's not going to be tough. It will be a hard game. Brighton, they've had a very frustrating season, I think, from an outsider's view. They're currently 16th. They're not far away from the relegation zone, and recent results haven't helped them at all. But performances, they've justified more than what they've actually gotten in results. I mean, if you look at Brighton's expected goals for most games this season, based on what they've actually scored, is quite staggering, to be fair. They create a lot of chances. They're just not clinical, and that's been a problem for them, not just this season. I think it was a problem for them last season, but particularly this campaign. It's been a problem. It's been an issue. They've not been scoring enough goals based on what they create. But they're a good football team, I think. They've got good players, and we have to be wary. They've got a good or relatively good record at St Mary's, in the sense that they've drawn their 3 games down at our place since being promoted. Obviously, we've got a great record at the Amex. We haven't lost to Brighton, in fairness, since their promotion. So yeah, past contests suggest that it'll be a relatively straightforward afternoon for us on Sunday. But anything can happen, as we've seen this season, and it's absolutely vital that we get over the line and win this game. I don't really care how we do it, to be honest, but I am a bit more encouraged to know that we're going to have more of our key players back, available, you know, are having made 6 changes in midweek. This is the game that everyone's focused on. And it was a tricky test. It was a tricky test when we went to their place back in December. Arguably didn't deserve to win. I think a draw probably was the fair result, but we got over the line. You know, we got a late penalty. Wasn't a penalty, you know, we had a bit of luck then to get the win. And that was kind of when we were getting the rub of the green. Lately, we haven't been getting the rub of the greens, you know, so it varies when you get a bit of luck. But yeah, I think it's fair to say we had luck that night. That was when we were kind of at our peak, really, you know, when we were winning most games. So I do expect a tough game on Sunday. I'd be naive not to. You know, we've only won 1 game over the last, 10, 11 games. So we're not in form. We're still not in form. But I do feel that winning on Saturday has given us a big boost. I think you could see it a bit with the performance on Wednesday night. I am relatively confident going into this game, and we'll talk about predictions at the end of it. But before that, let's talk about the predicted lineup. I'm very much more encouraged in terms of what I'm expecting to see start the game on Sunday. In goal, I think it's going to be Fraser Forster. 6 changes midweek. I don't really understand why Alex McCarthy came in for Forster. Goalkeeper isn't really an area where, you know, the player gets tired. I don't really see how that would have helped anyone, to be honest. You know, you can't chop and change that regularly with your goalkeeper. It looked like, you know, giving Forster the nod for the Everton game and the Sheffield United game as well. It looked like, obviously, Fraser's going to be the man for the league games, or if not the cup as well, for the remainder of the season. I don't really know why Ralph put Alex McCarthy in. It wouldn't have done any good for his confidence either, you know, playing against Man City and having to take the ball out of his net 5 times. But Forster, I've been impressed with. Conceded 1 goal in 6 games. Organises his defence well. Hasn't had to make too many saves, but when he has, generally he's stepped up and made good stops. Yeah, I'm glad to see him back. I do like Fraser. Then the back 4, I think it's going to be Ryan Bertrand at left back. Thank God. At right back, it just didn't work last time out. And then at right back, Kyle Walker-Peters. We can welcome him back into the starting 11 after being rested against Man City. And then the centre-back pairing, I think, will be Yannick Vestergaard and Jan Bednarek. Salisu played left back on Wednesday night, got a bit of criticism, which I think was fair. He didn't have a good game. It wasn't a natural position. I don't think you can read into it too much. I think he's definitely shown promise in the handful of games he's played. I'd say at the moment he probably is 3rd choice though, and I think it makes sense to have Vestergaard and Bednarek stick as the main 2 for the remainder of the season. Then in the midfield, Ibrahima Diallo will come back in, I think, with James Ward-Prowse. Diallo came on against Man City. Stevens just looked absolutely knackered, and he came on and did a good job. Yeah, he was good against Sheffield United. Yeah, I'm glad he's back because I think he's a great player. And obviously, his return has come perfectly in terms of timing because Oriol Romeu is now out for the season. Then on the left, I think we're going to see Minamino come in. And then on the right, Stuart Armstrong. And then up front, I think we're going to see Nathan Tella and Shay Adams. Adams, 2 goals in 2 games now. Good to see him back amongst the goals. And Tella, after his performance against Sheffield United, absolutely has to start. And I think Ralph thought that's resting him for the Man City game. Okay, he came on at half-time for Gineppo, who had an injury, but looks like he'll be set to be available for the game, which is good. I would take from that Teller's going to be starting on Sunday. So just to run through the team again, I think it's going to be Forster in goal, Bertrand, Vestergaard, Bednarek and Walker-Peters the back 4, Diallo and Ward-Prowse in the midfield, Minamino on the left and Armstrong on the right, and then up front will be Nathan Tella and Shay Adams. I think we'll win this game. I do think we'll overcome Brighton. I just feel like they're low on confidence. They're not in a great run. Obviously, they can provide threat, and you know it might be their day and it might not be ours. Based on recent results, we're still not in form, of course, but I do feel winning on Saturday and maybe the performance as well on Wednesday night, I think it'll give us a boost. So I'm going to say we're going to win this game 2-0. And yeah, it'll be a massive win if we do. But thank you guys for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, leave it a like, subscribe if you haven't yet already. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts ahead of the game. What are you predicting? Who would you like to see start? Follow us on our socials as well. And we'll see you after the game for a review, hopefully after a big 3 points. Take it easy, guys.